All right, this morning we're making another Infinity Do Now. I'm going to actually create a folder called Infinity Do Nows. And this is going to be one for my nephew. He wants to work on two-step equations. So let's create a new file. We'll call it two-step equations.html. And I'm just going to use Emmet here to get an HTML basic outline here. Let's get rid of the sidebar here. I'm going to tab over here. Let's call this two-step equations infinity do now. Okay. I'm going to tab down here and I'm going to create a container. And in my container, I want to have a problem class. Let's do this. Let's do it 8 times. And in each problem class, let's have a div that has the version number, and we'll also have a paragraph that has the equation, and then we'll also have a paragraph. Actually, we'll have a paragraph that has the instructions, and in that we'll say solve for x. Okay, and then we'll also have a paragraph with the equation. I'm going to tab to generate that code and just save it where I'm at. And let's go down here towards the bottom and let's create our script now to create these problems. So let's do a script. We're going to do a for loop. We'll say let I equal 0, I is less than 8, and then increment I by 1 throughout the loop. And we'll say that we'll let a variable called version number equal I plus 1, and we'll let the version number container equal document dot query selector all, and what we'll do is we'll select the version number class. Let me just move this up here. Select the version number class at index I. And let's do some soft wrap here. Okay, let's save that where we're at, and let's display the version number and check that that's working. So we'll do the version number container dot text content, and we'll say, actually, let's do inner HTML because I want to use a bold tag. And this isn't really a web document. This is going to be created, or moved to PDF. So I'm just going to do V for version number, and then I'm going to pass in the version number variable, and then close the bold tag just to make it bold there. And then let's save it now where it's at, and let's go to the browser and open the file. So I'm going to do Control-O, go to my Linux files here, and I'm going to open it. And we've got it with the version number, and it says solve for x. So it's lining up the version number, saying solve for x. Let's do a little styling here and get this a little bit nicer so it can print to PDF nice and easy. So I'm going to have the container class, and I'm going to create a margin of 0 and 0.5 inches. So that's 0 top and bottom, and then ½ inch left and right. So it's good formatting for the PDF. And then the problem class, let's have a min height of 200 pixels. And let's do a bottom border, or border bottom, of 7 pixels. Let's do it dotted. And I always do hot pink, but let's pick something else. Let's do neon. Or do we have, what greens do we have? Green, yellow, gray, goldenrod. Ooh, let's do goldenrod. All right, let's save it, and let's now refresh here. Okay, so now, yeah, it looks pretty cool. We want probably some margin on top. So if you cut this piece of paper here, you want to have the version be pushed down a little bit so you're not cutting off the version if you're printing this to PDF. So to do that, we'll do the version number class, and then do margin top of 25 pixels. And now now it spaces it out a little bit better. We also probably want to have a page break class so we can break this into 2 pages so it's nice and neat. So I'm going to do .pb and then do page break after always. And I'm going to go down after the 4th problem here and create a .pb class, or div with the class of .pb. And then now what I do, I'll refresh, you won't notice much, but if I go here and I go to print, we'll see the first 4 problems are on the first page, and then the second 4 problems are on the next page. And if I want to go to more settings and make this printer look nice, I'll take off the headers and footers, and that gets rid of the date and stuff there. So now I can print that. Now I have to create the equation. So if I go down back to my JavaScript, let's make a comment here that we're going to create the equation for each problem. And what we want to do is we want to have it of the form ax plus or minus b equals c. Okay, that's going to be our 2-step equation. I'm going to stick and not have like x divided by a just yet. I'm just going to have this type of form. And so to do that, let's create a variable. Let's say let a equal math.floor. Now we got to pick the range math.random. And if I do that, it's just from 0 to 0.99, etc. But if I multiply it by 8, actually, because of the math.floor, it's just going to be 0. So if I multiply this by 8, it's going to go from 0 to 7. I don't want it to be 0, so I'm going to add like 2, and then I'll be from 2 to 9. Okay, if I copy down and do the same thing with b, and then let's create an x value to create c. So let's say let x value equal, and then we'll do math.floor, and let's do the same range. So we'll do math.random times 8 plus 2, and we'll say, so that's giving the x value. So the x value is now between 2 and 9. And now we'll say that the c value is going to be a times x. We want to get the sign first. So let's say let sign equal math.floor. So whether it's addition or subtraction. And then math.random, we're going to multiply that by 2, so it's going to give me 0, 1. Now I'm going to say just let c. I'm just going to declare it, and then I'm going to say if sign triple equals 0, we'll say that's negative, and 1 will be positive. So we'll say c equals a times x minus b. Otherwise, else, c is going to equal a times x plus b. Okay? All right, so now we have the equation. We have c, so now we can make the equation. So we're going to say let equation container, hopefully spell this right, container equal, and then it's going to be the equation class. So I'm going to document dot query selector all, do the equation class at index I, and we'll say equation container dot text content. Actually, I want to move this up, so let me kill this line here. Highlight this and cut it, and we'll put this here. And then, okay, so if it's subtraction, we'll say equation container equals, or dot inner HTML equals, and then we'll do pass in the a variable. So a x, it's going to be minus, so we're going to do the minus symbol in HTML minus the b variable. Equals, the C variable. Okay, and then if we go down here, if it's positive, we'll do equation container dot inner HTML equals, and we'll do the A variable times X plus the B variable equals the C variable. Okay, and then we'll go down here, and so now that should start to populate. Let's check. So we'll refresh, and something, oh, we have a mistake. Okay, so let's do Control I. So go to the console. It says uncaught reference error. X is not defined at two-step equation, so 88. So did I put X inside of something? Oh, X value. Okay, now we'll save it and refresh. Okay, here we have the equations, no errors in our console. And we got some plus, some minus. Okay, cool. And now we want the place for the solutions. So we're going to go here. Let's create a div with the class of PB because I want this to be on the next page. Go down to the next line. We'll create a class of solutions. And then in that, we'll have an ordered list with 8 list items. You can do this, I mean, it's dependent on here. You could do this however many times you want. Also, if you have an idea of how to just generate this based off of an input, you could comment in the comments if you want. Okay, so now we've got to have our solution container. So create solution container and put solutions in. And the solutions will be the X value. So we'll say let solution container equal document dot query selector all. It's going to be within the solutions class. This, see what I'm doing? In the solutions class, the ordered list item at index I. Okay, and now we'll do solution container dot text content equals, and we'll just pass in the X value. Okay, we'll save that. We'll go here and refresh. No errors. We've got our solutions. We probably should indicate that there are solutions. Let's go here and just create that. And now refresh. Okay. And let's see, for this last one, version 8, 6x plus 2 equals 38. So you subtract 2, we get 6x equals 36. Divide by 6, x should be 6. Let's check. That's an adding one, so let's check to subtracting one. So we add 5 to both sides, we get 5x equals 30. Divide by 5, we get x equals 6. Let's check one more. Add 7 to both sides, 8x equals 40, so x would equal 5, which we have there. And if we refresh, it refreshes the problems and refreshes our solutions. Pretty sweet. Now if we go to print, it'll break it apart and we'll have the solutions on the last page. And you can cut these up to create many do-nows, or if you want to send them to your nephew so that you just have problems that he can solve and his mom has the solutions, then you're good to go. Hopefully you found this video interesting. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.